Alright, hello, welcome back to A Software Engineer Plays. We're back in Human Resource Machine. Shouldn't come as much as a surprise now. Let's get started. Let's see what we got. So last time we were looking at the small divide, implementing division without a remainder by subtraction. We did the modulo operator the video before. This video is called 3 sort, so I'm guessing we're going to take 3 numbers and then sort them, but let's find out. Alrighty, we rank all our employees here from worst all the way up to best. What? Where do you rank? Let's get some thought while we complete this assignment. Okay, so they get us started here, which is nice. So we're going to take 3 things and then move them from smallest to largest. So so this opens up a big can of worms into the world of sorting in programming. There are many ways to do a sort, from the simplest and often most inefficient methods like bubble sort or insertion sort or selection sort, all the way up to the much more complicated and fast quick sort and merge sort. I don't think we're going to be doing any implementation of quick sort or merge sort in Human Resource Machine here, just because I don't know what that would look like. I don't even want to think about trying to implement a quick sort using basic jump commands, but I think what we will do is start off with the much maligned and much loathed bubble sort, and from there we will see if we need to optimize by implementing something more like a selection sort or an insertion sort. Alright, so the way bubble sort works is basically you start at the end of your list of numbers, and you compare the last 2 numbers, and if let's say you were going from sorting from largest to smallest. So if you had a large number or small number here and a large number here, bubble sort would compare these two, and if this one was larger than this one, it would swap them. Then it would move on to the next 2 numbers and do the same thing. So it's called bubble sort because the numbers sort of bubble up the list of numbers. So if you think about, you know, like an aquarium, or when you're swimming in the pool and blowing bubbles, and the bubbles bubble up from the bottom all the way up to the top, to the surface, and that's kind of what bubble sort looks like in practice. So they've got us started here, so we need to start off by comparing these 2 numbers. So we will pick up a copy of 0, and then we will subtract 1. And that will tell us if it's a negative number, that means that 1 is larger than 0, so we should do the swap. So if negative, we want to swap 0 and 1. I'm going to call this, we're going to use our letters just because it's easier for me to remember, and I'm going to call number 9 our swap. Like we talked about in an earlier video, we do need a 3rd variable to handle our swap. So if it's negative, we want to do the swap, and to swap we want to copy B to swap, copy from B, copy to swap, copy from A, copy to B, and then copy from swap, and then copy to A. So that's our swap here. If it's not negative, we don't need to do the swap. So then we can move on and compare the next two numbers. So we want to then copy from B here and subtract C. And then if that's negative, you guessed it, we're doing the swap again. And it's important to note that when you're writing code in a programming language, you would write one function called swap, and you would pass it the two things that you wanted to swap. So you wouldn't. I'm gonna have to recreate all of this to swap B and C, but in a real programming language, you have one function, and you could pass it A and B, and then you could pass it B and C if they needed to be swapped, which saves on a lot of dragging and dropping of blocks. Anyway, let's go ahead and implement our swap here. So we want to copy from C, copy to swap, copy from B, copy to C, copy from swap, copy to B. Okay, after that is done, they should now all be in order, which means we should be able to, and I might get this in the wrong order at the outset, but it'll be easy to reverse if I have it wrong here. And that ought to do it, and then we can jump, whoa, back up to the top. Okay, let's see if I got this right on the first try. I don't have high hopes, but you never know. Alright, so now we're going to move into the comparison code. So we're going to pick up 8 and subtract 4. Now it's not negative, so that means we don't need to do a swap. And we're going to go move on to the next. We're going to pick up, do a subtraction. It's not negative, so we move on to the next. Now we're going to outbox the largest number, 8. Okay, so I do have my outboxes backwards. My bad. Easy to fix. C, B, A. Okay, try again. Here we go. 8, and 5, and 3. They're already in order, so I don't need to do any swaps. Cool. So we outbox 3, then we outbox 5, and then we outbox 8, and we start again. Now these are going to be in the worst possible case for a bubble sort, where you have to do all of the swaps, but you'll see we get a negative number, so now we do the swap. We store 5 there, we move 2 over, and we're going to move 5 back. And now we're going to do this again, and you'll see the 2 is kind of bubbling its way up, right? But we will also see a small problem. And that problem is we need to do one more comparison and one more swap. So in here, I need to, if we, let's see, how can we do this? So after we do this part, we instead of jumping straight to there, I think we can jump up to here and just rerun through everything again, I think. Let's just make sure that's right. So that's going to then do the first comparison again and make sure that it's in the right order, and if not, then it will continue the loop. So I think this will work. These are in the correct order, so we're good. Alright, so let's get 3 more. And these are in reverse order, so we need to do... Let's see... Yeah. So we're going to get a negative here. We're going to swap. Okay, swap looks good. And now we do another swap. And now we jumped up here. We're going to do one last comparison, and it's negative, so we need to do one more swap. got us in the correct order, so now we should be able to do one final check. We don't really need to do this check, but I don't think there's any way for us really to tell in the code that we don't need to do it. So we will outbox them. Alright, things are looking good here. Now we've got some negative numbers coming up, which is interesting. So these are in the correct order. So it's not negative, so we go ahead and move on down. Okay, good, good. Okay, things are looking good here. Now I don't know what's gonna happen here. They've given us two equal numbers, so I think it'll be okay, because we will get one negative number here, and then we'll get a 0, which isn't negative, so we won't need to swap. Okay, we're gonna do the swap here. Okay, now we're going through one last time. That's not negative, so we're good to go. Okay, perfect. Things are looking good. Alright, how did we do? Alright, we did it in 33 commands, and the speed challenge considerably over on speed. So I'm guessing we may be able to speed things up a little bit. Obviously bubble sort, you saw the number of comparisons that it did there. It wasn't ideal, because it had to do a bunch of comparisons, and then once it was finished, it had to go back through and make sure that everything was finally in the right order. So there are a lot more efficient means of sorting. So I'm thinking we will go ahead and call it here, and I will come back in the next video and try and do something more akin to a selection sort or a insertion sort, which will be faster because you have to do fewer comparisons. But for now, I will say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and consider subscribing and sharing with a friend. This has been A Software Engineer Plays. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching. Bye.